Yeah, I mean, my job is just to, be prepared each and every week. We have a great quarterback room, and I think that all of us have the exact same approach of, not looking in so much of being on the field, but, just preparing each and every day for, whatever and however an opportunity may come. So we got a great room of guys and guys who are just competing. So it's been cool to kind of have that relationship with everybody where we can lead, and at the same time just have the trust to communicate with one another and prepare each and every one of us.
How ready do you think you are to get an NFL game? Like how prepared did you feel week one? And do you think you go in and take a full workload if it needed to be? Like where did you feel like you're at?
I mean, I'm confident in myself, so whatever opportunity happens or whatever may happen, I'm preparing for that opportunity, and I feel like I'm gonna go out there and succeed anytime I'm on the field. So that's just kind of the approach that I have.
Is it a challenge at all, Jaxson, when you're sitting back behind Russ? You want to see Russ have success, but like you said, you believe you can go out there and have success to maybe turn things around if the offense is struggling. How do you battle that back and forth of wanting to be out there, also wanting to be a good team, that kind of thing?
Yeah, my job is just to be the best teammate for Russ. So, just him coming off on the sideline, us just having talks. It's a long season, so I know that every one of us obviously we're disappointed in the loss, and kind of how things shaped out for us week one. But we're really confident us being able to battle back this coming week and play at a high level. So my job is just to be there for us and be the best teammate. So that's my approach each and every week.
How different is your routine? How different is your routine preparing for games every week than maybe it was in college?
Yeah, it's very different. Obviously, as a competitor, you want to be out there on the field. It's a different perspective, being on the sideline and whatnot. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is winning. So me, going out in practice and giving the best looks for our defense, and whatever reps that I get, making sure that I execute it at the highest level for our offense. And I think that anytime you're playing football, regardless if you're on the field or not on the field, like if you lose, it's not fun. So for us, we're just trying to go 1-0 each and every week, and that's where we gain confidence as a team is from winning.
What did you learn? What did you learn from that different perspective of having to kind of just watch from the sidelines?
Yeah, there's just a lot of things that that I'm breaking down. I'm able to stand back and see the whole defense. A lot of times, as a quarterback, you're only able to see so many things like going on. Especially at the line of scrimmage. So, being able to have that perspective, I think that it's going to help me learn a lot, and it's definitely helped me like prepare, because I'm able to see like adjustments that we can make every time we come off the field. See what adjustments the defense is making. So, I kind of see it through like a coaching lens almost, of just being able to see the full picture.
How much of it? You adjusted your preparation this week. Have you changed anything differently?
No. My preparation's the same. I do all that I can. I spend as much time as I can to make sure that whenever I have an opportunity to be out on the field, that I'm prepared to do my job at the highest level, and that I can feel confident in that. So my week to week is not changing. I'm just preparing as hard as I can.
But how much of it just fans are already kind of clamoring to see you play? Do you hear that stuff? Do you see it?
I don't pay attention to that stuff. I think it's just kind of like the nature of the sport. Like anytime that things, you don't win, people talk and things like that happen. It's completely different when you win. So you got to take all that with a grain of salt. And my job is to control what I can control, be the best teammate that I can be. Do my job, in practices and preparing our guys, whether it's, me on the look team, and then, just prepare this as hard as I can.
But you're doing all those reps on the look team. You're running, obviously, another team's play. So how do you get prepared to be the Giants quarterback? And if Russ rolls his ankle on the first snap, you're in. Like, how do you balance that?
Yeah, obviously, not getting like those reps, you got to make sure that you do a lot of time outside of practice of, going through your own walkthroughs, bringing other guys out there on the field to stay late after practices and go through the script again. So I think at the same time, I think I can gain a lot, when I'm running a different team's offense, because I'm still playing football. A lot of the concepts are very similar. So even though it may not be the exact same play, you're still playing ball. And I think that those are very valuable, and I try to take advantage of those as much as I can.
After practice, are you going through the full practice script
Yeah.
for the Giants offense that day yourself?
Yeah.
And with you and Jameis?
Yeah, me and Jameis have guys out there that will stay late, and a lot of the guys on the look teams, like most of us are young, so we're still trying to learn as much as we can. So we take advantage of the look team reps that we get, but then after practices, we try to get as many routes as we can, and then that way we can feel like we know what we're doing, if we get our number called.
How many times have you thrown passes to, like, say, neighbors or Slayton, guys like that in practice? Because obviously maybe you do routes on air and stuff like that, but in like a 11-on-11 setting, have you had many opportunities to build chemistry with those guys?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of the nature of the NFL. It is just how it is. Like, the starters get most of the reps with each other, so and those are very valuable reps for them. So you definitely don't get a ton of reps with those guys, but I try to do a really good job at kind of just watching the tempo of how they run routes. And, when Russ is taking a rep, I like to stand in the back and do my own footwork, my own drop to kind of match the concepts and try to get that muscle memory as much as I can to try to tie myself up with those guys. So it's definitely, like I said, it's just the nature of the NFL. The ones get the reps with the ones, and, regardless, you got to be ready.
Is it exciting for you that they have this group of plays for you in the game plan, even going back to last week, where it doesn't have to be replacing the quarterback to get you your first NFL action?
Yeah, I don't know if it's as much as like a package of plays. I'm just preparing for whatever chance that I get. So there's not like a specific game plan or anything like that. It's me just trying to be prepared and be ready, whenever my number's called.
So when you're running the look team, do you think of it as your Jaxson Dart running the team, or are you Jaden Daniels last week, Dak Prescott this week? How much do you get into that role?
Yeah, I take pride in those reps. Just trying to give, like I said, the best look to our defense. So I did a little bit more running last week when I was acting like I was Jaden versus this week of acting like I'm Dak. So cadence-wise, you definitely try to marry those things up. So I'm doing the Dak here we go cadence and that stuff. So but it's fun because I'm able to take time to watch those other quarterbacks around the league and kind of see the things that they do at a really high level. And I want to give our team the best chance to go out there and win. So I think the looks that I give are extremely valuable, and I try to do that at a high level.
We've obviously seen guys like Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. They sat their first year. You guys have had success the other way around. Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, guys like that. Have you thought what's best for you, or have you thought about that at all, about different approaches in that regard?
I think that when you look around and you look at guys who have had success, it comes in all different ways, from guys stepping on the field from the moment they start to, guys stepping on and, like Peyton Manning, who, really struggled his first year and then turned things completely around, to guys who, like you mentioned, who have, sat a year or two, before their number was called. So I don't think that there's any specific, timing of that such. It's more of just, you got to prepare, and, the team's going to put the best guys out there on the field. And I think that's what people always have to understand. We're trying to win, and we're trying to compete at the highest level. So the guys who are out there on the field, you want to put those guys in the best situations, and those guys who have played at the highest level.
Do you have a preference? Would you rather sit Bella or on the field?
I mean, I feel like I've said this, as a competitor, it's not like I don't have a blast, watching from the sideline. But it's just the way that it is. So my job is just to do what I can control, and when I'm sitting there, I'm itching, so you just want to compete, and you want to be out there. In some ways, you kind of feel like a fan a little bit when you're on the sideline, so it's a little bit different of a feeling than what I'm used to, but I'm just trying to shift my perspective.
How have you navigated the delicate dynamic of being there behind Russ and then also being ahead of a veteran like Jameis on the depth chart? Two guys with standing in the league, but you obviously are both the present and the future.
Yeah.
So how do you navigate that, like your place on the team with them and what could be coming down the road eventually?
Yeah, I think that we just have a unique room where it's not as much of we look at each other as you're the first string guy, you're the second string guy, you're the third string guy. Like it's not like that at all. Like when we're in meeting rooms, like we all talk to each other. Like, you know, me and Jameis are trying to communicate with the rest as much as we can of, you know, things that we see. So like we kind of view ourselves as a quarterback room as just one. And I think that, you know, when you look around the league of teams who have, you know, the most success and who win championships, like a lot of that is just the room of the quarterbacks and how each and every person has a role and is involved on whoever's out there on the field playing. So that's just, you know, our jobs. And, you know, we just try to be the best teammates and do what's best for the team.